bam, damn, a damn Alabama fan and proud of it. Gun Nation forever, brother.
Namath again faking, quickly finds his target.
Now cuts in. He's at the 40-yard line. He's at the 30.
Quick drop throws in the end zone.
Each number represents an expectation, a challenge that only a championship tradition can issue.
Pressure. Anders hits him. The ball is loose.
Alabama, here comes the heat. Cornelius Bennett. Whoa, did he get lit up?
It is an endless passing of the torch that urges the wearer to enrich his legacy.
Brings pressure up the middle in a hurry. They can't get away from Duncan. Alexander first down and more.
Richardson breaks free on the sideline. England turns the corner. Can you say goodbye?
Because at Alabama, tradition is not retired. It is built.
I'd like for people to remember me as being a winner, because I ain't never been nothing but a winner.
Alabama defeats Miami. College has succeeded.
This is not the end. This is the beginning.
Just in case you missed it, this is Bam Dam, a damn Alabama family, and proud of it. Gut Nation forever, brothers and sisters. Welcome tonight. Good to have everybody up in here. We do appreciate having y'all up in here, but without further ado, hello, Mr. Todd. Hello, Mr. MFR. Good to see you, brother. But at this time, let me bring on my brother. Deuce, come on down, sir, Mr. AT himself.
Where it doesn't just roll out great players. He and his staff develop them. It's all about the process.
Roll Tide AT, what's up, big dog? Freezing up just a little bit.
That's great. What?
I said you're freezing up a little bit. Of course, everybody knows, in case y'all are not getting none of this, but me and AT both are going through some bad weather right now, so we may be some freezing up coming here and there or whatever, but we're going to ride this train until if they pull the plug on us, they pull the plug on us. That's all I can say. But right now, as y'all see, our topic for tonight is we're going to put a bow on that South Florida game. We also going to, if we have time, we want to talk a little bit about that upcoming Alabama-Wisconsin game coming up. The big thing that I'm wanting to do tonight is very important. AT puts in a whole lot of time grading the offensive line, and I want to starting off these shows on Thursday night with his breakdown because I think it's very good, and it gives us a good understanding of how is our offensive line really bad, or did things just look bad that wasn't? So, AT, take it over, sir.
Man, yeah, I got to say, Roll Tide and Roll Tide land. This is our nation. They're welcome. As you know, as always, like offensive blahs up front. That's because that's where you win the games, in my opinion, in the trenches. Your offensive line, the defensive line is where you win it because if they don't block, they don't care who you got back there in the backfield. You forget about it. So without further ado, we're going to start off at left tackle, Mr. Booker. You know, he moved over from left guard to left tackle because of Caden Proctor's shoulder. So he's been out for a couple of weeks. So Mr. Booker got in there, and there's a grand total of 79 plays our offense ran. So we got different guys with different snap counts and all that. Mr. Booker scored 72% pass at left tackle. Now, 72% at left tackle, and he's normally a guard. Guys, that is big because I'm going to tell you what, if you ever play football, every position is so much different. I know, but the mentally and what you have to do physically is two different things on both of them jobs. So, Mr. Booker, my hat's off to you, sir. You've done a wonderful job at 72%. You're the top graded lineman this week. So that tells you offensive line did okay, but not as good as we wanted them to. So when you look at things, make sure you understand that you're not just looking at a gain of 77 yards. So, and then, of course, they brought in Gino Vandermark, a transfer in from Michigan State. He come over this year in the transfer portal, and when they kicked Booker out to left tackle, they had to pull him, bring him in at left guard, offensive line this week. You know, so tell you, expect trouble. You cannot put them in one after the next and not expect something to be off. And it was off, and we had little issues with our timing on some plays, and they didn't communicate as well maybe as they should have at certain times during the game, and that caused a lot of the issues because South Florida is a blitzing team. They stunted, man. God almighty, they stunted left, right, every which damn direction. I think one turned around and tried to do it backwards. So Mr. Vandermark was in the game. He graded out at 69% as well as a second-ranked lineman. The left side played better than the right side overall. Mr. Vandermark was a 69%. So he done pretty good, you know, especially considering it's his first start. And I know it's USF. It's not a Georgia or somebody like that. So granted, these guys will get better. You just got to give them time, please. And, you know, understand what they're having to go through. The transfer in that come in with Coach DeBoer, Mr. Brailsford at center. He's a lot smaller than what we've had. I say a lot, 30 pounds, 40 pounds smaller than what we're used to having there. But he's a highly athletic. He can move, he can get outside and do things that our other centers have not done in the past. But Mr. Brailsford graded out at 63%, including some snaps that it was a little off and stuff like that. And so I watch and I see how well he handles, you know, snap and what how he calls it, because your center is supposed to call the protection during the game. The quarterback calls a play, and if he sees something, he'll the center is on the offensive line. You'll see them touch the right, or you'll see them point here, point there. They were talking. That's because they had to, because they did not play, but they did not know each other's abilities. They're all talking there, and that's why we were so messed up on offensive line, and is what people was thinking we were. But Mr. Brailsford again graded out 63%. Ain't bad, used to. I figured he'd grade, but he did not. A lot of times there's some blocks guys that are just effort blocks. If you don't try, you can see it on film. If you watch it 4 or 5 times, you see the effort was not there. You cannot do that in Division I football. Going over to right guard, Mr. Jaden Roberts, my favorite player on the offensive line. I call him the Hulk just because I call him that. Nobody else ever has. But I've always liked when he come in last year, he solidified that offensive line. We got that jack butt out of there that was playing right guard. It shouldn't have ever been in the game. I can't remember his name right now, but when Jaden Roberts come in, our offensive line got a lot better. And so he graded out on, like I said, Mr. Roberts graded out at 64%. And again, these are not high. And what you got to remember, again, we had a patchwork offensive line. We had guys playing out of position. It's our second game of the season. This is our first year with a new head coach, so you got all this new terminology. You had a short time to learn it, so there's going to be issues, and they're not going to grade as high, but they're still doing better than what you thought they were, I promise you. And then at right tackle, that's everybody's fall guy. Everybody wants to blame Mr. Formby for this, and I'm going to tell you, Mr. Formby didn't play as bad as what you thought he did. And he had some plays that was called against him that was bull. I apologize. But there he graded out 64% as well. 98%, which again, that's the lowest on the line. He did play the worst of the line, and that's true. But he wasn't that far behind Mr. Brailsford at 63%, Mr. Roberts at 64%, and Mr. Formby was 58%. That you can't have. I know he's got to get better, but listen, he's not the reason that offense did not do good until the fourth quarter. He is not the person that you can throw all this blame on. It's not fair to this kid. A couple times whenever we dropped back in the pass, I really think Jalen Milroe does his offensive line this service. He takes the snap and he drops back 5 more yards. Well, guess what? Them tackles, they're all forming a cup, circle, and they try to keep that circle from being broke. Well, he gets past the circle on the backside and they blitz off the edge. The center and the tackles, they don't know that the center's that far. I mean, the tackle, the quarterback, they don't worry about it. Your quarterback's way too deep. Stay up in the pocket a little more, help them out. They will keep you protected better. And then you can go to tight ends. Our tight ends, which we got 3 different ones moving around. I don't try to keep up with all of them. I grade them as a group. They graded out at 6. Where I looked at the number a while ago. They graded out 63% on what they needed to do when they was supposed to be in there, pulling and doing things they were supposed to do done, and they didn't play that well as a group. But 63% again, that's about where everybody was going. So if we go back and look at the whole thing again, left tackle Booker 70%, left guard Gino Vandermarker was 63%, right tackle right guard Mr. Roberts was 64%. Right tackle, Mr. Formby, was 58%, and the tight ends were 63%. So you see the numbers are all right there from 58 much where they laid in at. And what that tells you 2 things with the final score being what it was. We are a big play offense, and we've been that for the first 2 games. I mean, we're not ball 50. We are a big play offense. When you have that, you're going to have all kind of things. Right now it's going wrong that you can't blame all on Mr. Formby. Mr. Spencer, you got anything you want to say about the offensive line before I go on in videos?
Well, right before you go to videos, though, I want to bring on our brother William real quick. William, come on down, sir, to see what you got to say about this scoring.
So I want everybody to think here for a second. How much does this game mean to you? Because if it means something to you, you can't stand still. You understand? You play fast. You play strong. You go out there and dominate the guy you're playing against and make his ass quit. That's our trademark. That's our MO in the team. That's what people know us as.
Roll Tide, William. How you doing, sir?
Roll Tide, damn Alabama family.
There you go, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, did you get to hear any of them scores that AT is putting up?
Yeah. I don't understand it. But we came out with a big W. I love it. That's what matters.
You're breaking up a little bit with me this time, William. I don't know. It might be me. I'm not sure.
What's that?
But anyway, real quick, the scores to me wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. And that's our backup, mostly our backup players.
Right.
We had 2 starters who were tackles, not in the game. That's better than I thought it was going to be. That's better than what I thought it was going to be. And right quick, Jeff, I know I'm right there with you. I was feeling the same way that Forsby was cost us an 84-yard. I thought it was a 74. Anyway, Milrose touchdown for a hold.
Yeah.
Well, AT has spent some time and sent over some film work over here to Mr. Icebox. And if you would, AT, go ahead and take on. And as you do one, if you'd run around the table when you get done talking about it, sir. I'd like to hear William's input on it.
Not a problem. Play that first one. I think the first one's going to wind up being this is the touchdown run. If you'll watch your right tackle right there, that's for me, of course. Of course, this guy's gone. They call it back because of holding. If you watch it,
and
guys,
you pick that up, Icebox. Freeze it. Let it play. Let it play.
Yeah, freeze for a second, right
there. Freeze it.
That right there would be the only time, and if that's real time, he holds it maybe for a 1/10 of a second. It don't affect the play. It just don't. Go ahead, Mr. Spencer.
They're both moving backwards. So I mean, if they called it, that would have to be when they called it, and that's where they need to quit taping their hands up like that. They need to wear black tape or something because that white is sticking out like a sore thumb out away from him. I honestly, as an offensive lineman, in the past, that is not holding, because as it rolls, you'll see him release immediately. Go ahead and let it roll there, Icebox. Boom, see, gone. Yeah.
And you can see right there, he wasn't going to catch him anyhow, even if it wasn't hold. Go ahead.
What do you think, William?
I agree with you. I mean, if a guy can get away and you don't see any jersey pug on there, that's not holding to me.
Yeah, because to me,
it's got to be a clear wrap around and a turning motion to be a hold to me. That's why I do.
True. Well, now, technically, you're supposed to, when you go up, you can make contact to offensive line now. Back in my day, you couldn't even close your hands on somebody's jersey. These days, you can do it, but you got to keep them in front of you. You got to keep them in front of you, and once they break containment, you're supposed to let them go. That's exactly what he did on that play. That's what I'm seeing on this replay. That's exactly what I'm seeing is he had him. Then once he broke containment, he let go. But that time, Milroe, there was no catching him. He was gone. So I'm with AT on that. I think it was a bogus call. I can see why they called it, but as fast as it was going, no, ain't no way.
Yeah.
Hey, a quick question, guys. Are we live? I'm showing I'm down. Am y'all hear me?
No, we're live. I can hear you.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. This thing trying to tell me we're not live, so I was going to make sure that I was still live with you. Yeah, that right there happens all the time, and every time the players run, you call holding on every play. But that right there is another case of that. The guy's name is Ken something, the head referee for that squad, and every time he calls our game, we get more penalties against our team than I can count. But anyway, you can see right there, I mean, that right there is a blink of an eye, and Milroe is gone, and they call us back, call back a touchdown, and that's about 70 yards, 73 yards.
Yeah. From
about the 27-yard line, he's gone. And that right there could have been a morale buster, a backbreaker right off the get-go, and the game is, okay, we're flowing, we're moving on down the line, but nope. They throw a flag on us. It seems like every time we make a good play, they seem to want to throw a flag.
All right, what we got coming up next, AT?
I have to wait and see what I didn't do a good job of letting him see what I had coming up.
This is the first penalty of the game.
Yeah.
The first rollout of the quarterback.
Yeah, it's Jahad Campbell getting tackled out of bounds. They said that was unsportsmanlike. I mean, he hit him late. If you
late hit out of bounds.
Yes, sir. They throw a flag on that. They continue on down and get a field goal out of it, but you can tell he's in the green.
Yep,
I mean, there is no way a late hit.
Roll it on back.
Right, watch it. I mean, you can see he's still in bounds when he gets hit right here. All he does is push it.
He's got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to pop her up here in just a second if he can. Right there.
Stop. He's on the inside of the hash lines on the inside the field. So that's at least a yard and a half.
Green, yep.
And he had to push him or he'd kept running.
Yep. And
what do you think, William?
I think you're right.
You can see both of his feet still on the hash right there. Now, that's right after he first pushed him, was carrying him on out of the inbounds there and let him go right past this. He lets him go because he's out of bounds.
Yep. And that right there continued. That had been fourth and about 2 or 3, and they would have punted.
Yep.
Instead, they got to continue on. And they got a field goal out of it. So, I mean, it's just a field goal. But that's 3 points. We should not have gave up. That's clearly a bad call. And now, listen, nobody's perfect, but that guy running right there, that line judge, is watching it. He should have seen it. There is no way that could happen.
No, what's so bad right here, he don't call it. This guy here don't call it. The center judge.
Right.
See right there? Neither one of them calls it. Nobody's reaching. It comes from the back judge. The back ref. He's the one that calls it after everybody's back on the field. I think it's like 5 seconds after everything's done. We
We never understood why they called what they called till a few minutes later. They showed what they threw the flag on. We didn't know who they threw it on and why. It just said first down, South Florida.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
All right. You want to see the next one?
Bring that next one on up when you can.
That's crazy. I mean, it's hard to stop something that's in motion anyway. So, you got momentum going. So, all you do.
All right, here, guys, they use the crown of the helmet. Watch this guy right here come flying in. He lunges and hits the ball with his crown of his helmet. And again, that's my question. Using the crown of the helmet is supposed to be for the defender's protection because he can break his neck back or he can hurt himself severely. But if you watch this guy, he goes a step forward, you'll see he lunges. He launches like a damn missile. There he is, not doing nothing but going for the ball. Right here, watch his head. If you can, there he is. I mean, you could. There is no way you can do that and not be
back there, right. Okay, you see he's in a crouching position right here. He's lunging. He's got his arms under him, not in front to make a tackle. Then as it goes, he pulls it up and actually jumps into him like a missile. That is what's supposed to have been a textbook targeting. Supposed to have been. But now they change it to the contact to the helmet.
Yeah, that's definitely like I say, that's crown of the helmet to me. I've always understood if it's crown of the helmet, it's crown of the helmet. If it ain't, it ain't. Make up your damn mind so I can. But he flies in with his helmet and his head down. He just see what he hits. That will get a player hurt quick, fast, and in a hurry. This kid can wind up in traction with his neck broke if he does this again. He's lucky he does not hit the guy head on because if he had, he probably would have broke his neck. I mean, he is flying. You can barely see him from there to there. You can see his head's down all the way down. He's looking at his tennis shoes right now.
He's actually lunging right there. That's where he's diving. Started his dive into him. I wish we had the one where we got called for targeting, where he was coming in and making a football play. He was coming down to get below the helmet, and he reached his arms out to wrap him, and then the runner ducked his head, and they made contact, and he got yanked.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this right here.
William, what do you think, brother? What do you see here?
I agree. It's even though it's supposed to be in the chest or the head and neck area is targeting, and maybe he was low at first. And I don't know. Did we bend down into to where he hit the chest or what?
Well, yeah, he actually, his top of his helmet did hit the ball. We agree. It did not hit him in the helmet. Right. It hit the ball, but it's his diving, lunging like a missile action that the targeting was supposed to be to stop. Yeah. But it don't.
Yeah.
The crown of the helmet. That's what I'm saying. That's supposed to protect the defender more so than the other guy because he don't see what he hits. He can break his neck, guys. The last one will be the most ridiculous call of pretty much all night when we see Mr. Foreman get called for holding on the next one after this. Right here, watch the guy fall down. He just falls down and lays on top of him. That right there is the most legal. And, of course, he throws it downfield right here, and it's like a 60-yard pass. But that right there was the ridiculous thing you ever seen in your life. That guy comes across, he's leaning forward, and he's already about to hit the ground. All Foreman does is push him down. And tell me where this could be called holding, and this play gets called back or gets brought back as offsetting penalties. Because right here they said this is holding. This guy's already fallen down from hitting the turf or something.
Falling down right there.
Yeah.
He slipped, and Foreman just rides him to the ground like he's supposed to do. Right there, the guy's already on the ground, and Foreman just goes down with him. That's totally legal. There's nothing wrong with that.
You're told to lay on top of him until you hear the whistle. That's part of part of football. That's a ridiculous play right there. And he goes on and throws the ball downfield. And like I said, we catch the ball, but it's all set penalties because that was supposed to have been holding. That's a 65-yard play that could have been another back-breaking moment. We could have went on and scored another touchdown off that drive.
Or at least a field goal.
Yep. I mean, right there, that's field goal range right now.
Yep. 23-yard line.
And that's a hell of a
Yeah,
catch.
I
by the
agree
way.
with you. There's a lot of that's not what cost. That hurt us, but we prevailed. We won 42-16, y'all.
Yes, sir.
We did good. But yeah, that's some BS calls right there. I cannot deny it.
And that's
But
only
it ain't just happening on us. It was happening on every game I watched that weekend. It was pitiful. It was pitiful on everybody. William, what do you think, brother?
I'm just reading some of the chat, and I tend to agree with motherfucker Jones there. Yes, sir. Tennessee's offensive coordinator for USF head coach. So what's up with that? And then it wasn't the Tennessee referees. It wasn't that. That would be Jason Alder or whatever it is, and that wasn't him. It was another guy. But we had him there before, and as y'all said before, he was pretty good at being hard, calling penalties on us. The guy was, but I don't know. That game there was.
All right, gentlemen, I'll be right back.
That's fine. But yeah, so there's plays called against Formy. There's 2 right there out of the 4 plays that get called. He got called for 4 penalties. Right there's 2 that I've showed you that should not have been called. So the kid did commit 2 other penalties during the game. And you're going to do it. Hell, I played offensive line. I grabbed and I held, and I've done that sometimes. And if you get away with it, then you're doing good. If you didn't, William, then you get a flag thrown on you.
Yeah.
But that is not holding. I don't care where you're at. Go ahead.
And as KB said, in the thing I seen today, I believe it was, we're going to be under a microscope more than anyone else that I've ever seen. We are, because we are who we are. They hate us all because we can't think us. Because they hate us, man.
And I agree with you. There's a couple other plays in the game. There was one at 9:06, I think, in the second quarter, where the defensive lineman for South Florida, number 0 or number 9, I can't see his number real well, gets his hands underneath our center Brailford's face and actually shoves his helmet clean off. His helmet's laying on the ground, but there's no flag. Hands to the face mask, whatever you want to call that, they didn't call it. The most egregious ones is the one you need to throw the flag on, not the ticky-tack shit, but they threw on ticky-tack all night long. Jog Hamill's late hit was a ridiculous one, and USF had a guy, hands to face mask, not Brailford. Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure I looked at a couple more. I had to list it down here, Mr. Spencer, but it's amazing to me how some plays are called and some aren't. How do you miss the Jahad Campbell call when you walked off for a minute? How is that considered a late hit? How in the hell do you see that as a late hit?
Late hit out of bounds on top of that when it was inbounds.
I'm sorry. I laid
Got
out of bounds.
anything else you want to bring up on it? You're William E. Lord.
No,
as far as with that, no, sir.
All right. Well, I'd like to bring up our great defensive coach, Kane Womack, his little press conference he did. I was very impressed with it. And with that being said, T. Robinson, prayers for your loss. I am glad that Coach Womack brought that up during his interview there, his press conference. But, yeah, we're sorry for your loss, sir. A lot of prayers for you.
Yeah. Yes,
one
sir.
of the things that impressed me is when Coach said he loved to see the leadership that he saw on the sidelines and in the game. That there's a lot of younger players out there, but he saw a lot of the older people and juniors stepping up, being leaders, helping them, not just hollering at them, but showing them, the ropes, being true leaders. That's good to hear to me. That's showing a lot of growth with our team right there. He was talking about that our defense, they went 8 3-and-outs that they made USC do. They held them to 8 3-and-outs in the game. They had 13 game changer plays. They went 17 of 20 holding South Florida on 3rd and 4th downs. 17 of 20. That's pretty damn good right there, y'all. I'm sorry. They were 3 or 4 in the red zone.
Yeah,
Now, he was upset about the one touchdown that they did get. He said everybody wasn't on board with where they're supposed to be during that play call. But once again, that's growth. That's learning. And for the man to come up and admit, hey, we had some guys out of place. You know, they thought it was something else. That's trainable. That's teachable. That's friggin' awesome. What our growth is way up there right now. There was no long pass plays, even though they could have been. They could have been 4. A good quarterback would have hit them 4. They could have been 4, but he did say even on them, some of the younger DBs back there, they's either got to play late or they didn't understand what the play was and they was out of position. And they didn't realize it till the guy was already bound. So once again, we got young players. They're learning. I'm glad they're learning now. Maybe it will get a whole lot better. Other thing is the QB quarterback is talking about the runs. We getting up too many runs. Well, they did not actually adjust and account for him like they should have. So he actually put that one on himself. William, what do you think, brother? What do you think about how the defense played in this game?
Well, I think we could improve. We did a good job, though. I think we're fine. We're going to face a little tougher opponent as we go through the season. It's going to be tougher. Which Wisconsin, I think, would be. Well, I ain't got a problem at all with that. I believe that, we beat them before up there at better stadiums. So I believe we can put another there. I think pretty well across the board winners up there at that stadium. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and call it Bryant Denny North. I don't think they're going to beat us up there.
You do sound like you're breaking up a lot. It could be my internet with this storm's messing with you. I'm not sure. And Van, AT's got something for you there, brother. Good to see you, Van. We love you, brother. Good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. I thought, Van, you shut up, man.
All right, AT. What do you think about our defense? What our coach said there? I mean, impressed with it.
We got
He ain't calling no bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you. You should. You can't do. They're not going to learn their lesson. I mean, it's sooner or later you got to tell them the truth, and if they can't accept the truth and grow from it, then that's not your fault as a coach. You're doing what you're supposed to do. But when you got that many young people playing like we did, or true freshmen and redshirt freshmen kind of guys, we're going to have all kind of guys out of position at times like that, especially when you coach this going on. Guys, they run down and first one to throw it deep. It could have been a touchdown because he was open, by about 2 or 3 yards, and he overthrew him. And that guy runs off out of bounds, and another guy comes in bounds, so they get right back at the ball and do the same thing again. They substituted, but they didn't hold. You didn't see the ref get out there and hold the ball, did you? He didn't give us a chance to substitute. They did. So we should have had the opportunity to substitute. The ref should run out there, put his hand on it, say, hold on a minute, but didn't. So back to back, he went deep, and both of them could have been a touchdown both times. So, I mean, you make that adjustment. I know 2 win sprints back to back like that early game can get you shook. But overall, I think we're learning. We're getting better. They're going to get better because this is a whole new staff, a whole new terminology, different players, different positions, a 3-3-5 or a 4-2. Quarterback. A couple of times they got beat. All we done good as a defensive unit. They gave up 1 touchdown so far this year. Of course, Western Kentucky wasn't a threat, but that's my idea, Mr. Spencer. I think we're doing okay, and I think we're going to do even better against Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin USF is.
2 different styles altogether. But I got to say this right quick. I know my wife's got earphones on. She can't hear me, but I hope she catches this. Rise Up says, I look fine. Oh, baby. Anyway, enough of that being said. No, but I will. I mean, as far as what you was talking about, the Wisconsin versus the South Florida offensive, there was something that was said. Let me get to it. I think it's on my second page here. Yes, it was from the Ty Hayes show, from Around the Table. And if anybody in here, I think everybody in here, I think is subscribed, but anybody who rewatches this, if you're not yet know who Ty Hayes is from Around the Table, please check him out. He does an outstanding job. But I was watching him, and he made quite a few great points today. One of them I want to bring up. He says style makes fights. And he was kind of bringing in boxing to fight how they boxing with football, because he feels that the Wisconsin game plan on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, they have no style. He feels that the Wisconsin defense, it has an identity, but they don't have the personnel to carry out their identity. Ty basically was saying USF had style on both sides of the ball, which they did. If y'all think about it, they blitzed about every chance they got, put everybody on line. They tormented you running. They could either hit you on the pass attack or they could hit you the quarterback run. They had style, and they gave us a fight for 3 quarters. But he's right. They had style. They gave us a fight. William, do you think Wisconsin is going to give us a fight?
William, Williams froze up on me.
All right. Well, do you think that Wisconsin is going to give us a fight?
They'll lay into us for a while. The head coach is what's his name? He's from Ohio State. He's a good coach. Luke Fickell. He's a very good coach, and he's going to bring some things that we ain't seen this year. So they're going to give us a fight, especially the first half, I think. But I think just we learned some things about our offensive line last week, and we learned a couple things about our defense and our secondary we need to fix up. And I don't think it's going to last very long past the second quarter. Maybe before halftime it might happen, but we're going to bust some big plays on them, Spencer. I really don't know if they can hang around for more than 2 quarters against us.
All right. Well, I'm going to go back till William can get back in here. I'm going to go back a little bit with Coach Womack's press conference there. I forget the guy's name. I need to rewatch it, write it down, remember these people. Mr. Captain Obvious. He asked Coach Womack, he says, does it mean more when your defense gets a 3 and out after a turnover by the offensive team? Really? Captain Obvious? Really. I mean, come on. Really? Does it mean more? Yes, because what he's doing, what Coach DeBoer is doing, what Alabama has always done, and how we try to preach it left and right. You tell your brother, don't worry about it. We got you back. We mess up on defense. We let a score. You come, offense come up. I got you back. We're going to score it right back. You know, offense, that's fine. We got you. We're going to get you the ball right back. That's what's called a team. And I cannot believe one of these sportscasters got that press thing would even do the Captain Obvious. Man, what do you think, AT?
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you know, guys, come on, you get paid more than you're worth as it is now, and you have something stupid. That's almost ridiculous. That statement Van Edwards made earlier about my head getting bigger. This is big, bald, and beautiful, baby. Just soak it in and absorb it. Here it is. But yeah, I mean, sometimes they're not in the moment. Their brain says, I'm gonna go over here in right field. You say something, and I'm gonna get over here and laugh at me. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. So some of the shit that they can actually think of to ask, you know, hey, coach, did you think the grass was green today? I mean, it's one of them kind of stupid ass questions. You know, no, I thought it was blue. You know, we're at Boise State. Go ahead, Spencer.
Well, what do you think about their tradition to jump around?
I enjoy that as a tradition. You got to enjoy the college atmosphere, guys. I mean, I'm Alabama all the way, and I don't care about nobody else. I don't give a shit about anybody, just like everybody else. But certain traditions like that jump around is unique to them. That is something that they own, that they have, that they created. So hey, I'm all for the jump around, and then get up there and have fun with it. We all got our traditions, and that's theirs. I enjoy the jump around because, we're going to be jumping around. When by the time they start their jump around, the game's going to be over.
I love it myself. Hey, Dexter, good to see you, brother. Oh, and I forgot to say, Roll Tide Rise Up, good to see you, brother. If I ain't mistaken, I do believe I saw Nick Saban Jr.'s in here too, ain't he? Anyway, good to see you, brother. Good to see y'all. But I'm going to throw this out here right here because it's been a while. It's been a while.
Since you got some?
Since Alabama has been on I'm going to say a road game north of the Mason-Dixon line. A good solid road game. You know what I mean? Last time was in 2011. We went up there and beat the crap out of Penn State. It's been a while. It really has. It's been a while. Alabama has not been back to Camp Randall Stadium. For y'all people don't know, that's Wisconsin Stadium, just in case you didn't know. Since 1928.
Man, Edwards.
1928. Now, they did beat us. They beat us in 1928.
Yeah,
our record is 1-1 right now. Because the next time we met the Badgers, we beat them 15-0. That was back in 2015 when King Henry, hope y'all remember Derrick Henry, the King Henry, rushed for over 147 yards, 3 TDs. Whoa, that was in 2015. That was 35-17 win. That's 35. That was in Arlington.
That's what I think so, yeah. Yes,
that was in Arlington. So, but anyway, what do you think about that? We haven't played them in a while, brother. It had been a while. Of course, it's been a while since they've deserved the right to.
Yeah, I agree with you. Wisconsin isn't a team that we played a lot in the past simply because of they've not been on our radar good enough or made enough, to go up there and play them up there. They, been like last year when we went down to South Florida. How many times have we ever played at South Florida Stadium? If you're not relevant enough, we're not going to schedule you unless we're scheduling you as a payday game like a Mercer or Western Kentucky kind of team like that. That's a payday game, so our guys can stay healthy and we can get past it and not worry about you. So as far as playing Wisconsin, that don't bother me if we don't play them simply because they're not a regional enough team that you go, hey, let's go play Wisconsin. I don't want to see how good we do against them. It ain't something you can clench your teeth in, bite into and really get into. But again, Luke Fickell is a damn good coach, and he's going to have Wisconsin playing good ball before it's said and done. I promise you.
That'd be out. Hey, well, I got you in here, Dexter, Mr. Wright. Well, I got you in here. I got to ask you a question. Would you like to come on and have your own show with Bam Dam Sports? Come up, team up with one of us or somebody? If you would, man, give us a holler. We like to set you up, give us time. If you just want to come on and talk smack with some of us sometime, just let us know, man. We'd like to hook you up. We got some things coming down the pike right here that until we get it all stabilized up, we can't really let everything out of the bag right yet. But we got a big surprise coming up for everybody, and just so everybody knows, we do officially have our business license now, so we can get on with our growth. So that's what we're going to be doing, just so everybody knows. But Dexter, if you want to, sir, you can hit Icebox. Did you put our email up, our Bam Dam email up, please, sir? And then just text me, brother, your contact. That way you know it's legit. There's no, you ain't gonna work. It's a secured email. Just let me know, and me and you'll go back and forth. We see what we can set up. Be more than happy to. We'd love to have you on, man. I see you on other shows. I like your comments. I love your mindset. and I think you'd be a great addition. I love you. Little Joe, roll tide, brother. Roll tide, my man. But anyway, you got anything else you want to bring up in here there, AT?
Yeah, I was just looking at the stats on here. Some of the stuff they do, Wisconsin's averaging 27 points a game. We're averaging giving up 8 points a game. Of course, we're just 2 games in the season. Ain't really played much, but their defense is giving up 13 points a game. Our offense is getting 52 points a game. Our total yards isn't very much. We're only giving up 227 yards a game on defense. Their offensive average is 387 a game, with 203 of that passing. And then on the other side of that, our offense is 496 yards a game, and their defense is only giving up 249 a game. So, I mean, it tells the tape this shouldn't be close. But at the end of the game, we should have walked off. We walk a dog late, what I call it, pulled away kind of late in the game. Maybe, like I said, starting the second, after second quarter, the third, start pulling away and just keep on walking the dog and get away from them. And I think they're going to learn the lesson from last week. Even though I don't think it was so much a mental problem that they had, I think they know now that they're going to have to play their best every week, or else they can run up against the South Florida and not expect it to be a tough game. And it could happen any game during the course of the year. It only gets tougher from here on until we play Mercer down the line. But other than that, Mr. Spencer, I'm right there in the boat with you, brother. Keep rolling.
All right, I'm just curious on that. All right, just a little off topic right here, right quick. I know we got Wisconsin coming up. Did I just echo? Okay, I don't know how that happened, but anyway, the one thing I am impressed about Wisconsin is the size of their offensive and defensive line. I'm a lineman. I love the line. I love the boy get down in the dirt and get dirty with it. I love it. And they're our size on both sides of the line. So we're going against meat. So we're going to find out what we got. I think we're going to see more power rushing out of them from their defense. And I think we're going to find out what kind of defensive line we have against them. We're going to have a lot of good technique. We're going to have good handwork to get past these big boys. I think it's going to be, we're going to learn a lot about us on this game. And that's one of the things I preached about in the last couple of shows. I could not have picked a better 3-game set for us to play right off the get-go before we play Georgia.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we're getting a taste of every little thing. We're getting a taste of the quarterback that runs. We get the quick count. We're getting the power. We're getting a good taste of all. Just a total passing offense the first game. They like to run. Wisconsin does like to run. So we're getting a full taste of a little bit of everything for our guys to adjust to before we play Georgia. I mean, what's your opinion on it there, AT?
We 100% started out the way the season's doing. Bringing a whole new staff, a whole new bunch of kids are playing. We're young in a lot of different positions. Transfer portal, we were active. We had to be because all the players we lost. So we got a whole new ball of wax going on. So you don't want to start out against one of the best teams in the country when everything's brand new. You got to give yourself time, meld together as a unit, try to get better. And that's what they've done with these first 2 games. And, of course, Wisconsin, we're stair-stepping. Wisconsin is a very good step up from where we're at. We will have to play better to beat them. Everybody knows that because South Florida and Western Kentucky don't have the personnel that they got up there in Wisconsin. So I really look forward to be a first half kind of game. Now, like I said, I think starting the third quarter, we're going to start walking the dog on them. I'm one of them kind of guys that I like, and there's 2 different types of people. I was going to bring this up earlier, but it's a pull away late or break away early. What kind of fan are you? Alabama fans so far to me have been breakaway early. They want to break away early and then seem like hold on as it goes. I'm right the opposite. I grew up like with Mr. Spencer here, where you ran the ball 80 times and you just kept pounding it, and then you wore the other team down and you pulled away late. but you knew you were the better team because you were pulling away instead of holding on. You were pulling away. And it seemed like this year, our fans, there's a lot of breakaway early guys. I mean, I like to get out to 50-0 lead. I understand that, but anytime you can break away, pull away late like we did against South Florida, especially bringing in one guy, and that's supposed to be the biggest difference, we'd wore them down. They was fixing to give up the ghost anyway. So I'm a pull away late kind of guy instead of a breakaway early because to me, it seems like you're the better team because that's when you win the game in the fourth quarter. If you're holding on in the fourth quarter instead of pulling away, that's when I get worried about you.
I'm both. The reason I say I'm both, it depends on who you're playing. If you're playing a team that you know that you outclass and that you want your guys to eat, you want everybody to eat. So you go in, you start fast, you stay fast, you finish fast. You embarrass them and you shake their hands and thank them for the time, hand them their check as they're walking off the field. That's me. But you also got to have the hard games. You got to have them games you got to fight for. You got to have them. It ain't because you're Alabama. And like the coach for South Florida said, you ain't playing a logo. So our players got to understand that they're not a logo, that they are Alabama. They make that logo. They ain't the logo. So they got to come out and they got to fight every single play. And when it gets hard, it gets tough, you get hurting, you get to bleeding, you got all this, it gets tight, they get ahead. You have to continue to fight. They got to get that, see that, play in them kind of games, feel the pain, feel the panic, feel everything to be ready for this 12-team playoff coming up. Because you're going to have a lot of hurt. You're going to have a lot of people pain. You're going to have a lot of people pushing it too far. It's going to be, then you're going to have teams. Mark my words, y'all. Mark my words. You also going to have some of these teams that's going to get in there that we know they're going to get their ass waxed. You're going to have a team in there, a better team, that somebody comes up there and says, hey, man, you come play with us next year, we're going to jack you up $1 million, come over here. Just don't get hurt. So then they quit playing for their team during the playoffs because they're staying healthy because they know they're leaving right after the season. We're getting in all this now, y'all. Well, this is Wild Wild West. We're getting in all of it. I've been a denier of it. I've been hating it. I've been cussing it. But now I'm starting to grab a hold of it going, ooh, let's see what all is going to happen. We're going to just get excited for today, this weekend. What do we got? Hey, T, I mean, come on, man. That's how I think about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole new world, man. I mean, it's waking up tomorrow, and then the next thing you know, you got a Power 4. And that Power 4 ain't going to last long. It's going to be a Power 3 probably in the next couple of years. I just don't see more than 3 power conferences left. And that 12 will go to 16 before long. And then so everybody gets a participation trophy, and then nobody gets their feelings hurt. That's bullshit. But I really think by the end of the year, this team is going to be light years ahead of where we are now simply because they've had time on the field. Whether that's a number 1 ranked team, number 5 ranked team, number 10 ranked team, they're going to be light years ahead of where they are now. I got to give them time as far as our team goes, but I'm right there with you. You know, you've got to buy in, and you've got to give it your best every play because if you're laying down on your teammates, they're going to see it. And that's where you want them guys on the sideline. Like I think it was Justice Hayes when he wasn't raising hell out and said, I want better effort out of you. It's either him or the other running back, but I think it's Justice. You know, he's being a leader. That's what you got to have, them leaders that chew everybody's ass out on the sideline for not doing their job. But I'm right there with you, Mr. Spencer. I agree with you, brother.
All right. Well, I'm going to start rolling this up a little bit, but before I do, I want to let everybody know that my big jobs that's been holding me up on everything should be over with here in October coming up. So I can get back to it. And if y'all would like me to bring back the dedication, please just let me know in the comment section, because that time I'll have time to do research and get all the information brought in. But with that being said, since we wasn't on yesterday, today, I would like to just say to all the families and of the friends and families of everyone who passed away on 9/11. I just want to say you are not forgotten. You will never be forgotten. And I salute you all. Rest in peace. But go ahead, sir. You got any last words there, AT?
I look forward to the year. I think we're going to be a lot better. I can't wait to see the player that's going to – Ryan Williams, I said start of the year, be the guy, and he is. I'm looking for that guy on defense to be the difference maker. So far, we ain't had really an opportunity. Might be Keon Saab, and it's still not. I want to see that front line get into the teeth of that offense and just chew them up and shut them down. I want to see that swarm defense get into it, and I mean absolutely just break offenses apart. I look forward to it because I'm a defensive guy. I love defense before offense. I've always been a defensive guy, and that's why my favorite player is Jaheim Otis. And I tell you, by the way, before I forget, this is my pet peeve. If you're 6'4", 330 pounds with a number 1 or number 2, get that shit off there. Put a 9 in front of it. Be a 90, 91, 92. I don't pet peeves are bad. I hate seeing off a defensive lineman wearing number 3 or number 4. I mean, I'm old school. I know it, but roll tide, and I'm ready, Mr. Spencer, for the season to really begin now.
I see your point there. I really do. But I'm loving where we're going. I'm loving what Alabama's doing. I love all the naysayers because they ain't seeing the growth. They just want to keep beating us down. And I'm still sticking by my guns. We're going to make the playoffs. You never want Alabama in the playoffs because if Alabama gets the playoffs, we're going to win it. It's happening. I'm telling you, it's happening. And I will say this about Mr. Williams there, 17-year-old, fast as lightning, great receiver. I've only got one thing I'm scared of. One. And I'm going to knock on wood before I say it so it don't come true. I don't know if y'all remember another great receiver we had that's pretty much his build. A little bit older, but his build. Y'all remember Prothro? Am I saying that right? Prothro,
yeah.
Yeah, the one that caught the ball behind the defender's back, went in the end zone for a touchdown.
Right.
But then he blew out his knee because of his size. He wasn't a big stature guy. So when the bigger guys are rolling him up, more chances of injuries happen. I don't mean just overnight injuries. I'm talking about career-ending injuries. That's my only worry that I have coming with him. Rest of it, he's just going to do nothing but get better and better. I mean, better and better. And when his day comes, he will be a first-round draft pick. There's no doubt in my mind.
I agree.
But anyway, that's me. That's what I got. But if nobody else has anything to say, once again, I want go ahead. He's got to show his shirt off.
Yeah, I like that shirt.
Here, while he's showing the shirt, I'll be right back. You go ahead and show it off. I'll be right back.
You can't see the bottom of it, Icebox. You might need to take him off the screen or me off the screen so you can see your shirt better. You can't see but half your shirt, partner. Foot's ass. On the front, it said, if you don't believe. I like that shirt. I like it a lot, man. That's wonderful, guys. Like I said, guys, we're going to have a good season this year. Ain't no doubt about it. We're going to be good, and we're going to have to take care of our health and make sure everybody does good, as far as doing what you're supposed to do every day. Stay hydrated, eat your food like you're supposed to, do your homework, go to school, do class, stay good, don't get yourself in trouble because you're a 17, 18, 19-year-old young man. And with all that said, the big man's back over here at the table again, so we're going to have a roll tide season. And, hey, I look forward to watching this team develop because I think it's going to be explosive as hell when it's said and done.
All right, Mr. Icebox, you be so kind. Take us out with some great words from the mighty Bear Bryant. Roll Tide, everybody. Roll Tide. Dexter, don't forget to.
You've got to be better in all three areas of life, which, of course, are spiritual, mental, and physical. must be able to discipline yourself. If you don't learn but one thing out of football, it'll be worthwhile. There's certain sacrifices that you will have to make. There are going to be many sacrifices you have to make in later life. To fight. Oh, I don't mean fist fight. I mean to get up and come back and get up and come back and get up and come back again after you've been knocked down. And that could happen to you in later life. But if it does, you're going to know how to handle it. There's no one that ever has or ever will accomplish anything alone. I've read about self-made men. That's Tommy rot, as far as I'm concerned. I don't even know how to define intangibles. And I know that if you learn these lessons, you'll have it. And if you have it, you'll win, and you'll be better prepared in those 3 areas of life that we've been talking about. That there are going to be times for everyone that you're going to get discouraged. But if you never lose sight of your objective and never give up on yourself, if we do that as a team, 11 at the time, 4 years from now, why, we'll be walking out.